Hello and welcome to the Adam Friedland Show podcast premium. Nicholas, how are you?
I'm okay. Rough. My grandma's not doing too hot.
Oh.
That's been. Whoop. Whoopsie daisy.
Uh-huh.
But you know that's what they do.
They're supposed to.
Yeah.
That's their job.
And then just paperwork stuff. I guess off the top, I will say thanks to everybody who came out to Chicago. That
Nice
was a lot
shows,
of fun.
good shows.
Yeah, there was actually, it's funny because like the late show, like Detroit just felt like, I explained it, but it just felt like work every show. It didn't feel like I could
Fun.
relax. Yeah. And then the late show Saturday, it's always like, I was like, I just want an easy one. And I was like, so worn out. And then there were like two girls right up front that anything I said, they were like, exactly. Yeah, me and Jeremy were talking about that last week. Like they would just have a private conversation, like to themselves, so that I couldn't even hear it. But then you can't address it because if you do, they're right up front, and it's like a really deep room.
Yeah.
So no one, even 2 rows behind them, would have any context. So you're just like, no matter what you say to them, you can't win in that situation. And so I just tried to ignore it, and then there was a guy over here that is just then starts yelling at them on my behalf. He's
it's
like,
anarchy.
God, yeah, and he's
it's
like,
anarchy.
shut up. And
Oh,
I'm
God.
like, oh, you don't need to tell him to shut up or whatever. And then there was a guy over here who's like, I have a question. Why do women just suck? And then but the guy was sitting there with his like mom, his elderly mom.
The guy who said that?
Yeah, and then I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't really know how to answer this. I'm not trying to do like crowd work or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, hopefully that's not.
So it just
your
became
opinion.
January 6th?
And then there's a guy over here. He goes, yeah, that guy probably fucks his mom. And I'm like, his mom's sitting right there.
Oh, God.
And then so like, yeah, it's just fucking. It was just like nuts. But then in Chicago, there were people like, there was a couple of people that were like, yeah, we were at the late show in Detroit, and so we wanted to come see the show for real. I'm like, that's so kind of you.
No.
But then one guy was there. He was like, I was the guy that said the thing about like women. The guy who said like partially ruined the show came, and he was there.
Wait, so the two women talking was in Detroit? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, Chicago was nice, but after one of the Chicago shows, the guy that
ruined the show.
he came. He was like, I was the guy that said the thing, and I was like, you're the guy that ruined the show. And then he looked really hurt. He was like, I didn't ruin the show. And I'm like, oh, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
He's been feeling so good about that the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But
he probably
I don't know.
fucks his mom.
Yeah, that's like the thing that's like such a struggle with stand-up comedy. And it's funny because I started stand-up comedy young. And I definitely spent a lot of time on the internet, but the internet is much different than it is now. It was always this thing where like, yeah, you can say whatever you want on the internet. You can, like, people are meaner on the internet, but it had a greater sense of like disconnect. And maybe this is just a function of maturity, and like this doesn't really bear out.
And anonymity probably too, no?
Yeah, more anonymity, but I guess my relationship, like the internet was dial-up, right?
Yeah.
And it was, you had to use a phone line to get on the internet.
Right.
And so it seemed like an extension of the phone. And what that is like, oh, this is a prank calling machine. Like you're always just in prank call mode. And now it's this 24/7 thing that you're enveloped by.
Yeah.
And so it's the way people interact with each other. It is still toxic, but it's not done in a way where it's like, oh, I'm going to try and rile this guy up. It's not done in a way where it's trolling.
Yeah.
It's like people aren't like threatening each other because they don't mean it, and it's like.
Well, they're also just like directing that towards famous people now.
And each other. I mean, it's like fucking,
Well, I don't mind like calling your friends out.
You can see
on
it
Facebook. That's the internet I learned.
You'll see it on Twitter.
Yeah.
You'll see people get into an argument in the replies to a news article, and then these people going back and forth for a while. And these are like, just regular people, and you can see that they're very upset. They're like, LMAO, you're still fucking responding? Get a life, you fucking loser. And it's like, you're the one that's a fucking loser. I have a life. I'm talking calmly, and it's like, you don't have to do this.
They're engaging in the same
Yeah, right.
like antisocial behavior.
They're trapped in it, but it's not done. Neither party is sitting there being like, yeah, I'm pretending to have these opinions to get a rise out of this
No.
guy. So nobody's enjoying it. And how this relates back to stand-up is like I was saying, the internet kind of existed as this other thing, but stand-up is it's weird when you get to the point of like, like you're headlining and you can have an audience come to you because it's a lot easier to be sort of like more vulnerable or like, I guess, gentle because like you genuinely do want people to have a good time. You want
At
the show
this
to be
stage, you mean?
At this stage,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
When you're a feature act and you have something to prove,
You have to go hard.
It's sort of,
Yeah,
something kind of like combative. And even with like, people that might be upset about something.
Yeah.
I guess my goal, or you too, probably any comedian, is like, how can we just like resolve this and get back to like, let's all just have
anyone to have a
You don't
bad
want anyone
night.
to have a fucking bad time
Yeah.
at all. And then even the shows that are like kind of combative, like that late one afterwards, it's like the fact that that guy would even like come to Chicago or whatever is like, on there, because I mean, I haven't been. That's one thing I haven't really experienced. I've been to shows, but I started comedy when I was very young, so I don't know what it's like to sit in the audience at a comedy show and be strictly an audience member,
Right.
or what that phenomenon feels like on the other side. It's just that the difference between interacting with people after a show and during it, and it's like, how can you synthesize the two and make one? I have no problem talking to 400 people individually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Be nice to the people that came
Yeah. How can you have that be the same as it is when you're on stage?
Right.
Well,
I remember you said something to me, I think in December, that was very helpful with like the interviews for the show. But you were like, I don't understand why you have this affect, right? And then the way I processed it was like, oh, Nick's on my ass. Mm-hmm. But like, I thought about that for a while. You're like, why are you a dick to people when you're interviewing them? Mm-hmm. I thought about it for a while, and I was like, oh, my only reference point to like doing comedy, but not like projecting it solo was crowd work, right? Which is inherently contentious. Mm-hmm. So if someone says they're an orthodontist, then I'm like, you're a faggot, right? Yeah. But so that was all I could relate to the interviews, right? So I had to like unlearn the like kind of like that type of like what I learned from that's what you're supposed to do as a comedian. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're a pedophile. Fuck you. Yeah. You can't do that in an interview with someone.
Well, you shouldn't even do it on stage.
No, you shouldn't.
Right.
It's entertainment, right?
Right.
But there is like what's a masochism that like people want to get shit on. Like people want to be like, I got fingered.
Yeah, and
I was fingered.
It's weird too. Yeah, people like act like this is this new thing when it's like that dates back to the beginning of stand-up.
Yeah,
comedy.
Rickles was doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, look at this black.
Yeah, right.
Look at this fucking black.
Yeah.
And everyone's what are you, Asian? Mm-hmm. Oh. What did you come here from, the Viet Cong?
Yeah. That being said, also, because of, like personal stuff, and then I need to push to get things done with the show. I will be in Denver on the 17th through the 19th. I'll be trying to shoot this hour. Also, check it out. I don't know if you saw it. McCusker released a special.
Oh yeah, check that out.
It's good, but the intro is like probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
The rollerblading?
The rollerblading is so
It's very funny. It's very funny.
I was like, damn.
Shout out to Matt.
I wish I had thought of that.
A rollerblading intro.
It's really funny, dude. It's really fucking funny. Yeah.
I did watch it. Yes. It's very funny.
But that gave me way more confidence because like I think he got like 500,000 views in the first day.
That's awesome.
And me and him are like the same guy.
Like vibes wise.
Podcast guy that's
podcast wise.
Fucking out to lunch.
Out to lunch.
Yeah.
Real screwballs.
I guess. Yeah. But that's all to say. Yeah, please come out. I think Denver's already sold out. But the rest of the calendar for the year, I have to postpone those to 2024, so we can get things in shape for when you take off.
We got to grind at the stew for a while for the Adam Friedland show. There have been a lot of...
I may potentially have 2 funerals, but looking like one to attend pretty soon. So I need to make sure I have time for that. So if, unfortunately, the Ohio shows, those will have to be moved yet again to 2024. And then there was a couple other dates that I think only maybe 15 people bought tickets for.
Yeah.
But Boston I'm keeping, and then
New York
Skanks,
Comedy Festival,
New York Comedy Festival.
November.
Obviously. Oh yeah, let me text.
And I will be in Washington D.C. August 24th, whatever. Please come if you're from there. I haven't been back in a long time. I don't think I've been back since we did the Black Cat with with Stavaru.
Yeah, I haven't. I think maybe no. Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah, it was very shocking when the DTLR on 14th and U became a Soul Cycle. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Jordan's store became a Soul Cycle.
Yeah, I had to text them to make sure that we keep New York Comedy Fest. Can't pull out of that.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. Please come to New York
That'd be
Comedy
fun.
Town Hall.
But the only other thing
November?
that I'm keeping on the calendar I want to promote is I will be at the Wilbur Theater in Boston in September. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that should be fun. I'll keep that one.
Awesome.
The first show sold out, and they added a second one, and I think that one's about half sold. So.
And just a brief update on the Adam
And then-
Friedland
and
show.
then
We now have
it's-
5 interviews in the can. There's a lot of stuff coming
We have
out.
5.
I think 5.
Fuck. There's a lot to do.
There's a lot to do.
Yeah, but yes, I'm sure it's annoying if you bought tickets for those shows and I had to move them. I am very sorry, but it's some of those dates like Raleigh or Philly. The material would have been relatively similar to what you saw.
Right a new hour.
Yeah, it gives me time to. I'll hit the clubs. We can get this. We can get all the segments for this talk show good.
Yeah.
Make this a good show.
Your Lizzo chunk's gonna be pretty stale though at that point. 6 months from now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's gonna have covered the Lizzo
In
stuff.
2025, stay tuned for the Lizzo hour.
Your Lizzo chunk.
Yeah.
6 months. You remember 6 months ago when Lizzo?
Isn't that her full name?
What?
Isn't that her full name?
What's it?
Lizzo Chunk?
Clump.
Oh, Clump.
Yeah. Hercules. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How did we know that with these Lizzo accusations, no one's even floated the possibility that it was actually just Eddie Murphy?
Yes. Wearing a variety of costumes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It was so clear.
It could have been Buddy.
It was
Law.
right in front of our faces the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so yeah, guys, we have a lot of good episodes that are in the can, and we have a lot of work to finish them. Guys, we are operating a skeleton crew. This is an independent production. If you're watching this right now on Patreon, you're supporting this, and just get excited. You know what? Get excited. There's a lot of fucking awesome stuff.
We'll be good.
The next interview.
And the people that support the show, it's not, I mean, we're doing okay. The biggest resource that we're lacking is time.
Yes.
So being able to clear this up so that we can just work.
Yeah.
Go see our families die, come back and work, and not not have to worry about flying to Columbus to do material.
Talk about Lizzo.
To do material that everyone's already seen on the internet.
Yeah. Well, folks, thanks once again for joining us. Mm-hmm. These are opening remarks and statements. Actually, I saw the funniest thing I've ever seen last week. I didn't tell you.
What?
Maya and I went to dinner with lesbians. Like a double date with lesbians. Mm-hmm. Huge for me. That community has never liked me.
Yeah, they still don't.
They still don't.
Yeah.
So then I was like, we all got wasted at the meal, and I was like, we got to go to the lesbian bar, which is like very similar to like when I had a Mexican nanny growing up, and my parents were like, oh, we should get her a Christmas gift.
So you had a Mexican nanny?
Yeah, like my babysitter in L.A.
Did you speak Spanish?
I spoke fluent Spanish when I was 3.
That's crazy. I never knew that about you. Isn't that weird when you meet people and they're like, yeah, I spoke German until I was 4.
Yeah. I'd watch Univision and then I'd translate for my parents. Yeah. We watched Sábado Gigante, but I've lost most of my Spanish. But yeah, we had to get her a Christmas gift, and I was like, because she's Christian, why don't we get her I wanted to get her an enormous cross, because I thought that's what Christians like. So I was like begging them. I was like, she's gonna love it because she's a Christian. Mm-hmm. So in that vein, I told the lesbians, I was like, well, you guys are probably gonna love it. We got to go to the lesbian bar.
Yeah, you had already went to sushi for dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. We can eat fish off a woman's body.
We went to a sushi.
Lesbians will love that.
A sushi taco restaurant. Yeah. And so we went. and there's like I'm one of 3 guys, right? This is real behind enemy lines situation, you know. I was like, especially me, my public profile, those type of broads, they're not gonna, they might. One could surmise that a lot of them wouldn't like me.
Just Australian style lesbians.
Yes, yeah. Zookeepers, cargo,
Guy Fieri,
a lot of cargo
zookeeper.
pockets. Yeah. So we get there, and then
Why do they have the wackest
style?
Yeah. Why is that?
They don't have to.
They don't. They can do whatever.
It's not the rule.
Yeah.
I think there are varieties, but there is definitely that is a prominent variety.
Right.
Yeah. Not to talk about them as if it's a taxonomy of animal, but yeah. There is a cargo.
Well, it's a
pocket.
culture. I mean, you're not talking about it as a.
Correct.
I'm not calling them animals.
Right.
I'm calling them the people that take care of the animals.
Yes.
Yeah.
A zookeeper.
Right.
Kind of a Kevin James zookeeper.
Yeah. And when I imagine a butch lesbian, I see them with their arm up.
About to punch.
Yeah, just the giving facts about an owl.
Yeah. This. Yeah. And just like the animal just completely obeying.
This is Mortimer.
Yeah.
And he actually swallows mice whole and throws up the bones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get there, and one of the 2 other men there just pulls up on my girlfriend, and he's like, "What's up?"
Yeah.
And I turn to him. I was like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Here?"
Yeah.
I was like, "This is happening here?" And he's like, "Whatever, bro," and he walks away. And then I can't stop looking at him the rest of the night. But he's just Pepe Le Pewing every single one. And he starts on the point guards.
Yeah.
But he's he's going up to power forwards by the end.
Yeah.
He's going up to Rapinos
Yeah.
and Madhouse.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What's up?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, this guy, he went from get the fuck away from me to this is the bravest man I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
This is Mission Impossible.
Well, there's got to be guys like that out there. They're like, I'm gonna catch the most dangerous. That's like going on safari, and not just because the clothes are the same.
It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And so at a certain point, I intercepted him.
Yeah.
And all of them were like, "What are you doing?" I intercepted him. I was like, perhaps he was wasted. He stumbled into this bar. He's like, the ratio is fire here.
But that's the thing with gender now. That could be like a woman.
I was like
as a male presenting.
Female identifying.
Male presenting trans woman, right? Isn't that a thing?
But perhaps. But yes, he looked like Albert Finney. I don't think it was like
Albert Finney?
Yeah. What's the one where he's cue ball? Is that Miller's Crossing? Daddy Warbucks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He looked like Daddy Warbucks.
I had a much different mental image.
Was that Albert Finney? I think it was. So I go up to him and I'm like, dude, this is a lesbian style establishment.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, and he just looks at me and goes like this. And I was like, is this like an accident? Were you wasted and you stumbled in here? And he's just doing this kind of look at me. And I was like, is this your thing? And he's like, I fucking love them. And I was like, has it ever worked? Has it ever worked? Mm-hmm. Have you ever scooped one of the girls? And he's like, not once. And I was like, how many times have you come to one of these places? And he's like, literally hundreds.
Yeah.
It blew my mind.
Yeah.
I can't stop thinking about this guy.
Yeah.
What an incredible human being.
Yeah. And it is because there's a thread of the human spirit that goes back thousands of years in that man.
There's something.
Yeah.
There's something.
Yeah.
He's a pioneer.
Yeah. No, if he were Asian, he'd be doing the bubble sculptures.
What are those?
Where they take a block of acrylic and they make a dragon, a 3D dragon by blowing little bubbles in it, or a ship in a bottle or some kind
He's a ship in a bottle guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What compels?
But
also he was going up to
because everyone's going to die. So
I can't stop thinking about this guy.
If you engage in this Sisyphean task however small,
Yeah.
you know, it's a denial of death.
To some extent, he's rolling the boulder up the hill.
Yeah.
He knows he's never going to get to the top.
Yeah.
He's hit hundreds of times.
Yeah.
He
That's
is
cool.
Sisyphus.
Yeah.
There's something very existential.
Well, that's what I mean. It's that you tell me this story, and I can imagine the tableau, but what I feel is something from ancient Rome, from classical antiquity.
Go on.
Yeah. What I imagine is the
It's platonic
right is the you know the Hanging Gardens.
of Babylon.
Yeah, ruins. Yeah.
He's the Colossus of
Rhodes.
Rhodes.
Mhm.
Do you think if he actually caught one night, he catches Paul Blart Zookeeper one night, he'll just die?
Paul Blart Zookeeper.
Whatever.
Do they give them segways at the zoo?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
But he would just die happy. He'd be like, I've done it. Huzzah. Eureka.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's probably like
And then he got kicked out of the bar.
probably like catch and release.
And then he got kicked out of the bar.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
For what? Being not a lesbian?
Bothering people.
Bothering?
Yeah. For bothering.
Interesting.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That is a great story.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I still can't understand
I don't know.
fully.
I don't know if I can't recall. I felt like I had a good story from this week. I did the Schaumburg Improv, and I needed to. I'm back to counting calories for a little bit,
Yeah.
just to give myself some order.
Yeah.
You know, outside of sobriety, the motivation to go to the gym. So that's the thing is, and I feel like now that I'm in my 30s, I really do need to have my nutrition on point, or I just can't go to the gym. I can't do anything.
Yeah. We'll just have a sense of like self-control or something.
Maybe there's a part of that. I mean, I say that, but it does help just having something regular, something to expect every day.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, I have to eat these things. It's like, because naturally I don't really have much of an appetite, especially when I'm stressed out.
Me neither.
I just won't eat all day, and then at the end of the day, I'll go and get like a sandwich at the corner store, and then. But you know, yeah, dude, I know what I'm eating. Do my meal prep, clean the kitchen, vacuum the apartment. Like, just keep certain things like regular.
Yeah.
So that the stuff that's out of your control, it's like, okay, well now I have the time to deal with this and do it kind of deliberately.
Correct.
But yeah, so I was in Chicago, and that was the first time I've been on the road, which is like hard to maintain a diet on. But you know, like I brought the food scale. One of the easiest things to do if you're gonna go eat out, I guess, is just get. I mean, it's embarrassing, but bring the food scale
To the kitchen.
not to the kitchen, but if you order, what is it, sashimi?
Okay.
Yeah, because I use the RP, Renaissance Periodization Diet app. I don't use like MyFitnessPal.
I don't know what either of those are.
Yeah.
Whatever. It doesn't. matter.
MyFitnessPal is just, they have like every food in there.
Yeah.
And then you can like scan items, and then it'll like give you all the macros. RP's system works a little bit easier because it just prioritizes protein. So it gives you a list of, you can do the scanning thing like you can in MyFitnessPal, but basically you select the protein first for a meal. So it's like, it gives you a list of, lean protein sources that are mostly protein. You know, like any type of meat or whatever, you know, you can select, I think they even have like 80-20 ground beef in there. So then it'll, like, that's probably the fattiest type of protein in there. And then it'll, you know, count the protein and fats and carbohydrates for that meat. But once you hit your protein goal for that meal, then that food item is locked in the meal. So then you go over to fats, and then, so let's say I mean, it'll be disgusting, but let's say you make a meal that's 80-20 ground beef and peanut butter and rice, you know.
Sounds great.
Yeah, right. Peanut butter beef rice. You know, classic peanut butter beef rice.
Thai peanut butter beef, right?
Yeah, basically, right? So you select the beef first, you weigh out the beef, you get your, whatever it is for that meal, 60 grams of protein, and then the beef takes up, probably, I can't do the math in my head, but 15 grams of fat out of the 30 grams you need for that meal. And then the rice is the rest of the carbohydrates. Now, if you have like brown rice, that has protein in it, right? And if you have peanut butter, that certainly has protein in it too. But once you like weigh out the beef, the amount that you need, once you move on to the fat column, if you add peanut butter, it'll just only add the fats and the carbohydrates, so you're not going back and removing beef because you added protein from the peanut butter, which makes the process a lot simpler. And because the list of foods also like promotes like eating whole foods, I guess. But anyway, I mean, I just do it mainly, so I have.
So you brought a scale to
some structure, yeah. So I brought a scale. None of this is even important. It's just I looked up a sushi restaurant, and I wound up at like one of those Japanese markets, where there'll be like, what if we just had Japan and an entire grocery store that's Japan. They sell anime shit and fucking rice cookers,
child pornography.
Yeah, all that shit. And the clientele there was really good. It was just actual Asian people, and then
otakus,
and then just like right-wing memes, like not just like anime people, but a lot of them were disabled also, like just fucking like in arm braces and
had injuries.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it looked like that meme after Donald Trump won.
And that lady.
Not that lady. There was another one that someone drew that's like somebody with like a hammer and sickle flag and like a wheelchair missing a leg and like pink hair, and they're like like all upset and crying. And then like a 7 foot tall like trans woman with like a gun in their mouth. So I saw it after the election, and it gave me. I said, ha.
Oh, haha.
Oh, all right, guys. All right, yeah, very.
You
funny.
got their ass.
Very funny, very funny. Yeah.
And so they were all there at the Japanese market?
They were, yeah.
Did you feel like you were with the Japanese or with them? Or you were like, I'm a Shogun assassin, I don't belong to anyone?
I feel old enough now that I don't feel like I'm part of anything.
You're Rorschach.
I feel like
You're just staring down at a city disgusted.
25 years ago, if I was this age I am now, I would be wearing a cell phone belt clip at this point. I'm at that point in my life.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the biggest Bluetooth headset of all time.
I've shed the last, vestiges of youth, and now I am a cell phone belt clip guy.
You should just get one. Why not?
Yeah, and then just have the phone out.
Yeah, just have the phone out.
Yeah.
Looks like I got a text.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Severe thunderstorm outbreak with hurricane wind force gusts possible for eastern U.S. Yeah.
We're getting a hurricane?
Yeah, hurricane. I'm trying to think. There was another story. There was something else that happened that was very funny to me.
From Shy City?
Well, I was in Schaumburg, so I didn't really...
Where is that?
It's like an hour outside of the city. That's how all the bigger comedy clubs are now like.
In Irvine. Yeah, they're not in L.A.
Yeah. You'd be like, oh, I'm performing in Philadelphia.
Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah, right.
PA.
It's at the King of Prussia Mall.
Yeah. It's a nice mall.
It's an amazing mall.
It's a really good mall.
It's a great mall. Yeah. Much better than the Mall of America. Piece of shit, that mall.
Piece of shit.
Which is a shame because Minneapolis is such a nice city.
Yeah. You like Minneapolis.
I love Minneapolis. Yeah. But yeah, the Mall of America is a piece of shit.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck them, dude.
Yeah, what the fuck was the other story?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Was it from the show?
No, not from the show. Just something that caught my eye, and I chuckled. Something funny I saw.
Like a name tag with perhaps an Indian man's name, with a lot of letters.
No, I don't do much Indian giggling these days.
You get an Uber. You can.
No more Desi giggling. I'm over the Desi giggling.
You're over Desi giggling.
I finally saw Barbie.
Was it good?
Have you seen it?
No. My girlfriend saw it.
She like it?
No.
Yeah.
She's so stupid.
It starts off very promising.
Yeah.
The first 20 minutes, I'm like, oh, this is great.
It's product placement?
For Barbie? I mean...
Yeah, from Mattel. obviously.
I don't know if it's product placement in the traditional sense. It's the Barbie movie. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just like
It's not like you're watching Kramer versus Kramer, and then it's like, okay, I'm just gonna go in my room and play with my Barbie. It's the Barbie movie, you know?
during this divorce.
Yeah, right. Well, that's why they got divorced.
I mean,
'cause
obviously it's product
the son was
placement, but
playing with dolls.
it's like cynical corporate bullshit, or it's that's what I meant.
I mean, my honest feeling about it, watching it, is like I said, the first 20 minutes are good, and then I mean, really the only criticism I saw of the movie was Ben Shapiro in that picture he posted, where he's like, "I just got dragged to see this. First of all, boo. Second of all, I hated it for a multitude of reasons. Number one, there's girls in it. Gross. If it were up to me, it would have been a picture of a penis." It would have been a 2-hour picture of a penis. And not too big, not too small, but just similar to my size, but it's on display. So it makes me feel like maybe mine could be on display. And that would have been a much better movie. You know,
I didn't actually see the Ben Shapiro rant. Everyone was talking about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was just him
It
posting.
has to be the same shit as always, right?
Yeah. It's the problem is that the only people airing criticisms, I think, really are going to be conservatives who just hate it because it's a Barbie movie. You know, they're going to hate it no matter what.
Yeah.
You know,
Because girls drool.
if it had been anything less than like women should just be in the kitchen being raped, like they'd be like, "Oh, what the hell is this?" You know. But it's like I don't know. I guess the problem I had with it is not that any of the ideas that they're relaying are like invalid. It's just in the grand scheme of things, if you pay attention to culture at all, they're trite if expressed literally.
Yeah.
You know, and so the goal of the satirist is to just not, you know, express whatever point you want, but just don't do it literally, because then it's not satire, it's just preaching. And the first, 20, 30 minutes of the movie, that they do a great job of that.
How do they set it up?
Well, so Barbie wakes up and, you know, it's like it's perfect, another perfect Barbie day or whatever in Barbie land. And then she starts thinking about death and she can't figure out why she thinks about death. So then she has to go see the weird Barbie, who's played by Kate McKinnon, who's like a Barbie that's like it's scribbled all over her face and her hair is like cut up because, you know, like a little girl.
Yeah. Some Sid.
Yeah, right. And then so, you know, and at that point it's like cooking, and then so she says you have to go into the real world and find the girl that's playing with you because she's having these thoughts that are now invading your doll image.
So it's like Toontown.
Kind of, yeah, exactly. And then so she goes to the real world, and Ken comes with her. And then Ken goes to the real world and sees that in the real world that there's like the patriarchy, and, you know, in the Barbie world he's just a shitty doll that just has to hang out on the beach.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then so Barbie has to find the girl that's playing with her that's being sad, and Ken goes back to Barbie land, and he's like, fucking God, we're gonna do the patriarchy. And then so he convinces all the Kens to like steal the Barbies' homes, and then they're just like drinking beer and like partying. And
That was pretty chill.
that's what I mean. The first 20 minutes they set it up, like, you know, I'm like, yeah, this is funny. And then she finds the woman that's playing with her, and then they go back. She has to bring her back to Barbie land. And then after she gets back to Barbie land, then she just gives this speech about how hard it is to be a woman that's basically just like copy-pasted from BuzzFeed. And then they're like, oh, well, now we can take the power back from the Kens. But then there's like all this like emotional tension between the mom and the daughter. Like the daughter is like an angsty teen, and the mom like still likes Barbies or something. And then they just sort of give up on that. Like you don't even really see the daughter. You see the daughter maybe one more scene after that. And like the tension between them is just sort of resolved behind the scenes. Sure. And then it ends with like the question that's being answered at the end of the movie is like, well, what happens to Barbie now? It's like, well, Barbie's just a shitty product. You shouldn't care what happens to Barbie. It's like
she beats the Kens though?
Yeah, they convince the Kens to go to war with each other, and then they
because that's what men be doing.
Yeah, they take back the Barbie Constitution. It just felt like it started off a lot stronger than. Yeah. But that's the problem. It's like it has to be a movie, so it has to be 2 hours long. If it's a sketch. If they only had to work with not even a sketch. If that had been 40 minutes long, it would have been like great.
Sick.
I would have been like, this is hilarious, this is perfect. But
Yeah.
I guess, audiences, stupid American audiences need to
These
have.
freaking Americans.
They're like, there needs to be a beginning, a middle, and end.
Right.
It has to wrap up in a way that I like. It can't just be a clever point.
Does Ken in the Barbie world, do they have smooth genitalia?
Yeah, they do. There's a lot of parts of it
That's
that are
funny.
very funny. They go
Yeah.
in the Barbie world, and Barbie doesn't understand that. Like, she doesn't know what misogyny is.
Right.
So they're like rollerblading, and they go up to a construction site, and the construction workers are like, "Hey, why don't you come suck my dick, bitch?" And then Barbie's like, "Well, I'll let you know this. I don't have genitals," and he doesn't have genitals either.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, that's fine,"
You can still suck my
because
dick.
they're like afraid of being transphobic. I
Yeah,
thought it was clever. Yeah.
That's funny.
I was worried there would be a lot of
Overhanded social messages?
no, not the overhanded social messages, that like very stale type of commercial Marvel humor, like so that's a thing, or
Like
that just happened, or whatever. And that's mostly just contained to Michael Cera, so you don't have to worry about
like a Taika Waititi kind of thing.
what's that.
Like the guy that made Thor, that guy from New Zealand. Mm. Yeah, but it just feels like
that happened.
it's like a Old Spice commercial, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Yeah. Like a Chandler kind of humor.
Yeah, it's more. I don't know where it started. I think it's like, if I had to trace, it's after. It's crazy, and you unjustly shit on him on the show, but Jonah Hill and Seth Rogen were like.
Well, I didn't
sometimes-
shit on him.
Yeah, you did. You called Jonah Hill you were like, he's a predator or something.
For what?
I don't know. You said that at some point. He's been very nice.
He's
to
one
you.
of my best friends.
Yeah, he's been very nice to you. But no,
Now you're making accusations?
I think they suffer from, like, sometimes people can be so influential, and their style gets aped so much.
The Apatow style just got ripped.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then the original looks kind of stale and bad, and in comparison. But yeah, after Superbad and what was it, Pineapple Express?
Yes.
There was a certain style of humor that was like, even when I like would do those commercial auditions, which is already 8 years ago, but
Yeah.
I would do those, but that's still like 15 years after Breaking Bad. You go into the auditions, and it would just be like this dickhead casting director's assistant be like, yeah, so just like, we want comedy, so just be like, I guess so. Like, I don't know, what do you think? Like, just doing, like, they would give you direction to act in that, like, this very. I'm like, that's not funny, right? You're doing an impression of an impression of an impression of an impression.
That's kind of what an exec would.
A tonality.
Yeah.
That was wrapped around actual jokes.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about a home security system.
For a long time, all commercials were also like Tim and Eric. Also.
Yeah. There's a lot, or like the Skittles commercials or whatever were very. But and now that's still everywhere.
Kind of.
Yeah. No, you'll see stuff, and it's just fucking, like, certainly children's movies. Like, when I watch baby movies, I'm like, can you just treat me like a baby?
Yeah. Am I supposed to know about sarcasm?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What baby movies do you
I watched the preview for the new Trolls movie. It was there for Barbie.
And you're like, yes!
That might be. I think if I would have an aneurysm if I went to see that movie, just watching it. Yeah.
Is it CGI?
It's CGI. It's very loud. It's bright.
Oh yeah, it's a nightmare.
They're screaming a lot of the time. Yeah. A lot of like, this is going to be the best road trip ever. Like that stuff. That fucking, I can't. There's got to be a name for it.
It's like like when kids have too much soda and they're at a sleepover and they're jumping up on a bed. Yeah. Like that type of energy.
It's like comedy 2.0, I guess, if you had to put in some name on a thing where it's, because there's no. What's funny? I was making the rounds on Twitter a while back, the list of jokes you weren't allowed to do on Workaholics in the writer's room, and it's all that shit. It's all that kind of...
It's like what?
Like all of those types of... Those things that they just use as placeholders for comedy that it's like Chat GPT
it showed
shit.
that they had, like, standards, you mean?
Yeah, it showed that they have standards, but
Yeah.
it is also like when you see somebody doing that, if you see that in a movie, it's like, okay, you didn't write a joke. It's just them saying,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a Disney executive inserting a chat GPT.
yeah. Or something along those lines. But there wasn't much of that in the Barbie movie. Although the girl that played the daughter did have, she had like Netflix face, I guess I call it.
What does that mean?
There's a certain type of acting that like I feel like the streamers or something that's very like contemporary, where their facial expressions are identical. Like they're always conveying like the same emotion, like the way her eyes move and everything.
Like a soy face or something?
No, it's not a soy face. It's not a one fixed expression. It's a style of acting that you see on.
I wish I could see what you're describing right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the trailer, it's just it doesn't. There's, well, whatever. I think we should find a joke or something to say.
I don't know. I'm interested in what you're saying right now.
Yeah,
I have to see Oppenheimer still.
I mean, it's a dumb way to say it, but like some people you can tell they're good at acting, and some people you can tell are good at doing
Acting like they're acting.
a technical style of performance that looks
saying.
like contemporary acting.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
The tone you remember the baby shows we watched growing up, but there was like that there was now looking back like Saturday morning kind of shit. It was like I can't wait to like that kind of like exaggerated like overacting was like very common.
The Pee Wee Herman thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah. That was probably emulated from Pee Wee. R.I.P. The legend, Paul Rubens.
He's up there jacking off in heaven.
He's jacking off in God's movie theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it? What, like, I guess that's pre-internet. You know who else got in trouble for that? That guy Fred Willard, also dead.
For masturbating in a movie theater? Yeah.
It's like an old guy thing. It's like they don't understand how to make the buttons work, so they gotta go to the porno playhouse and crank one out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told you when I went.
That is kind of fucked up to not let people jack off at the porn movie theater, or
What are
just
they
kick them
supposed
out.
to do?
Just kick them out. You don't need to publicize it.
I told you.
That's like canceling someone for saying like the N word at NASCAR.
I told you,
know what I mean?
when we were in
It's
Montreal, I went to that porn movie theater.
Yeah.
And we were in the balcony, and so I was just like, oh, I could see the mezzanine, and it was old men, and it was just a real life lemon party.
Yeah.
There was like 3 old men sitting next to each other. There was one in the middle. He was getting sucked by the other old man, and then he was jacking off the other old man. And he was kissing him on the neck. And I was like,
nice to hear
I couldn't stop looking.
It's nice to hear that while dealing with this like personal stuff, because it sucks to know your like grandma's suffering in the hospital. But
your grandpa at least,
yeah,
he's with the lemon party.
Yeah, at least yeah.
He's with his buddies from Korea.
Yeah, right. Right. At least he can still go to the movie theater.
I'd never seen anything like it. And then there are the other fellas. They're walking down the aisles, and they're just yanking as they walk, and then they're going left and right and like looking to see if anyone wants to engage.
Yeah.
Like I guess cruising, perhaps.
Yeah.
And then like if they can't find anyone, they just keep going up and down the aisle, pulling their schlongs.
I feel like
Cinema L'Amour in Montreal.
I feel like a lot of gay conservatives are just gays that were like, no, being repressed and in the closet was way more fun.
Yeah.
Because you can't do that. Like
back in the day, they used to be fucking in dumpsters and stuff.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they were at the fringes of society.
If that's your thing, now you have to make a bunch of money in real estate and buy your own dumpster.
Now you have to be in Goldman Sachs.
Yeah.
And you have to look like John Cena. You have to be like cycling. You have to have a just absolute perfect bod. Look straighter than us.
Yeah. But all in all, I would say the Barbie movie was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch, even though I saw it at 10:30.
The old gays were like Oscar the Grouch. Just living in garbage cans. Tiny mustaches. John Waters is kind of like the last one.
Last old school gay guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you when I went to go visit when Amber was on Fire Island, I went to go to the beach that day and I saw the John Cenas, and I was like, I was like, I kind of don't think these guys are good people. I kind of think that like they're all kind of like pretty like vapid, superficial, like whatever. And then I met two old timers, kind of the generation where they talk like old Jewish women.
Yeah.
You know, before they all talked like Valley girls. And the old timers, they were the sweetest people I've ever met in my life.
That's every old man in New York.
Yeah, kind of.
Every old New York guy. It's funny that New York has this reputation of being like tough.
Yeah.
And then all the old New
They're all
Yorkers,
like
they're
this.
we had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Oh my God, it was the best thing I ever had. The most like delicate people.
Yeah, they're so sweet.
Oh my God. Forget about it. It was so
incredible.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, and we talked to these old timers, and they were like, "You should have seen this place. 1978, we were here. We bought a house, 12 friends, 10 dead from AIDS." He's like, "We're not afraid of this COVID. We lived through a plague." And they're like, they couldn't like, they had like canes and stuff.
For being fucked?
I think from being old.
Oh.
Yeah. I have this from being fucked. You should have seen this place. It was heaven
The cane just
on
comes out of
earth.
his ass. Like, and I bid you adieu. Whoop. A little slide whistle.
He's a magician.
Yeah, like Felix's magic bag of tricks.
Dude, that's so funny.
Yeah. The other thing I saw a trailer for is the Wonka movie, the Willy Wonka movie.
Oh, with Chalamet?
Which I was under the impression that movie came out 5 years ago.
They announced it a long time ago.
Yeah.
But what is it, gritty reboot?
No, that was Felix's joke. Remember Felix like kind of...
Oh, it isn't a gritty reboot.
No, it's pretty straightforward. It's
Just
like
being Willy.
young Wonka, how he invented chocolate or something. I don't know.
Have you met the little people? The Oompas?
There's one of them in the trailer. I couldn't really gauge what the story is, but it's young Wonka and he wants to make chocolate. And there's a chocolate cartel that control candy in Britain.
Oh, the Colombians.
Yeah, and he's like this upstart chocolatier.
Yeah.
And but he's inventing chocolate, makes people fly and stuff. And then there's one scene I saw with Oompa Loompa, but he doesn't seem to. It's new. He's invented it or something.
It looks great.
Yeah,
it looks awesome.
I was like, I could have sworn that movie already came out.
Yeah,
a long time ago.
I remember they kept announcing that there was going to be a Jimi Hendrix movie with Andre 3000. Everyone was like, "This is about to be the best movie ever," and I think it didn't even get a theatrical release, and like no one saw it. Yeah, I still say, the Audacity of Hope biopic, Audrey Drake Graham will win Best Actor at the Academy Awards.
Why? Just because he kind of looks like Obama?
I think he's going to go back to acting. He's going to go back to his roots.
Yeah.
And he's going to give one of the most stunning performances we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Undefeated.
It is going to be funny now because of Barbie. We're going to get 20 years of toy movies.
Fucking listen.
And there's going to be Latino guys that are like, yeah, I'm really into like the toy universe. like there's like, you know, I mean, I saw Barbie and that like blew my mind. So, and I saw G.I. Joe and I'm about to go see Hot Wheels next weekend.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's like they deal with real life stuff.
Yeah, and the Mattel is going to start a Marvel thing. They're all going to be in the same universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're going
to do Avengers.
The criticism of Marvel movies,
Jeez Louise.
Marvel movies used to be that it was for babies.
Right.
And now it's literally just for babies. A24 is making a Barney movie.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. They are. Look it up, dude. It's fucking insane. They're like, we're
kidding
going
me.
for like a darker, more adult tone.
It goes into his like sexual assault.
Yeah, they're making a like adult Barney movie.
Where he finger pops Bebop.
I don't know. And then, you know, the fun answer is that the CIA is doing this to lull people into complacency or whatever.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm dead serious.
This is real.
Yeah, it's real. A24 Barney movie.
No, this is the deep state.
But it's worse than that.
It's maybe worse.
It's worse than the deep state.
It's maybe worse than just some nice guys from Langley
it's an
giving us a movie.
It's an indictment of humanity.
Some nice fellas giving us abstract expressionist art.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they invent that?
Yeah, I think
They
so.
did.
They promoted it heavily
Why?
because I guess the
Anti-Soviet?
alternative would have been
Figurative?
like Marxist art. So if they create something that's just sort of abstract nonsense,
Just scribble
about it,
scrabbles.
yeah,
Really?
then yeah, people won't develop a class consciousness.
They're so smart.
Yeah, they really are.
They're so smart. I think they're not as good anymore, though.
What? At doing stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really, all they have to do.
If Trump was dealing with the fellas they used to have in the agency back in the 60s.
They don't need to be. They have, I mean, the way technology is gone, you don't even really need a CIA for domestic. You can spy on anyone all the time. People have zero autonomy. They don't have any control. They have no privacy. They
Yeah,
don't
that
own
we're past
anything.
that already.
Yeah, it's like there's no point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They used to kill the presidents.
But like, what do you think? Like, there's not like the idea of any kind of like, I guess like political revolt or revolution may have been something that was a concern in the past, or
I guess the like 60s radicalism, the student movements.
Sympathetic to
yes, civil rights.
That will never happen in the United States.
No, there's so much Mandalorian.
Yeah,
There is so much Mandalorian.
But beyond that, it's like the police state apparatus is. Well, I mean, what do you think? What, are they going to storm the Bastille? They get what? Killed by a drone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just not going to happen.
I know.
January 6th was our one option.
Rogan said it was a psyop.
Yeah?
Yeah. He went on the record.
He said it was a psyop?
I don't know. I found this out from I follow Stephen A. Smith on Instagram, and he was like, "How you gonna make that assertion?"
And we'll only have acts of political violence stemming from dumber and dumber reasons.
Yeah.
In fact, the next big riot
will be Barney,
because people can't get tickets to Barney.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be the thing.
The Barney riot.
And then the preeminent far left,
yeah, AOC,
most communist position.
AOC will die in the Barney riots.
And the most communist position will be that we will not have freedom until tickets to the Barney movie are subsidized.
Yes.
We can talk about healthcare.
By the government.
We can talk about healthcare later.
Yes.
Right now, we need free tickets.
Right now, it's about Barney.
We need to all be able to see the Barney movie.
Because it's representation.
Is it even?
For a lot of those.
Yeah.
A lot of those big bitches.
Oh yeah, Barney.
He's a big bitch.
He's a big bitch.
Yeah.
I think he's sort of regular size for a dinosaur.
Maybe he's a little small, actually.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, kid size.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe that's real.
Yeah.
Felix has been joking about that for years.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they just steal ideas from him.
That is like the joke. You're like, oh, soon they're going to be making Barney.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, Barney will be on the Adam Friedland show soon.
That would be fun to have Barney on the Adam Friedland show.
Oh, my God. They say don't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
I'd love to meet him.
You love to meet Barney?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, what else is going on in the news?
Oh yeah, the big story this week, of course, influencer Kai Cenat caused a riot. Streamer, content creator Kai Cenat.
He's one of Hassan's friends, right?
I think he's
did that bastard respond or not?
He did not respond.
What the hell is his fucking problem?
We're gonna go on the record.
We've been nothing but friendly to Hassan. This isn't
He's talked a big game.
This is not like a bait thing. We're not trying to be like, oh, we're gonna have Hassan on and.
What are we gonna do?
No.
We're nice.
We're nice. We're not arguing.
We're nice.
There's nothing. We're just gonna have a good time. I mean, at this point, it's just disrespectful. I don't understand why.
I don't understand how he's gonna tease us like this. Just posting those workout videos, like just so you and I can see them.
Very rude, Hassan.
He's just posting lifting weights because he's like, Adam and Nick are gonna see this.
Yeah, all of our other friends come on the show.
Yeah, all of our other friends.
He's too busy. What? Did he come to town to get the PS5? Bro, there's a free PS5. Hassan died this weekend.
At the Kai Cenat PS5 riot.
He got killed.
It is pretty. People got fucked up.
Yeah.
I saw a video of Kai Cenat with like a little kid, and the kid couldn't breathe, and he's like, "You gotta breathe. You gotta breathe."
I didn't see this. But
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Adam, you walked past it?
No, I was.
We were here?
I think we were here. Yeah.
God damn it, we missed the event of the year.
Oh my God. I didn't see it. I just heard about it. I haven't looked at it.
Oh my God, yeah, apparently it was insane. Wait, Mike B went. Of course he did.
Oh shit. He's facing like charges.
For what? He didn't have a permit
Inciting a riot.
for the PS5s?
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens. You indict Trump, and now they have to.
Now they're gonna come for fucking.
They use it to go after black people. Exactly what the definitely not concern trolling argument has been.
Mm-hmm.
That if you okay, this time we'll go after Donald Trump for
Yeah.
classified documents.
Yes.
Wait until a week from now.
Yes.
Poor Lorena working at the
Yep.
grocery store.
Yeah.
They were like, "What are these receipts in your register?"
Yeah.
Donald Rumsfeld came in here and bought peanut butter a week ago.
Looks like
Nobody's allowed to know about that.
Yeah.
And now they're gonna lock her up.
They're gonna lock up Trump. They're gonna lock up Kai Cenat. I Show Speed, Mr. Beast, perhaps.
What is the thinking though? Like there was one PS5.
It was only one.
It was a couple of them, I guess, but like I can't
You
imagine.
didn't have that many.
I can't imagine if you went to Union
Those
Square.
guys have so much money. I
If you-
imagine he had like 200.
If you went to Union Square and you're like, oh, maybe there's a free PS5 I can win. I got there and there were 1,000 people. I'd be like, all right, I'm going home.
I'm not gonna get it.
I'm not getting that PS5.
These guys are so famous.
Yeah.
There's a video of him when he hits the most subs on Twitch,
Yeah.
where he's like having a party with his friends,
Yeah.
and he's very clearly getting a hand job under a table
Yeah.
while like 12-year-olds are watching.
Yeah, this is crazy. I didn't see this story at all.
Did anyone die? There were hospitalizations.
Yeah, he's been charged.
It was a trampling incident.
Yeah.
That has to be one of the worst ways to die. Trampled to death.
Yeah. Either that or in that fucking movie theater.
Joker?
No, with the three other fellows from the USS Good Time.
Those guys serve their fucking country.
Served cunt for their country.
Wait, remember this was like maybe 7-8 years ago when you found that archive of gay pictures from World War II guys? What were we were like writing a sketch about like, was it your grandpa dies?
Yeah,
and then
finding your
I'm going through his war stuff. Then you find out. It was kind of one joke, but it was a very funny joke. Yeah.
Yeah, this is crazy. I shouldn't do this. If we talk about something, I should look it up beforehand because this
That's
is,
all good.
yeah.
We need to wrap it up soon anyway. We got some work to do.
Yes, there's writing to be done. I'm glad that we have time to focus. I can just concentrate. I got to meet with Alex and Hunter and Steven about this.
Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, flying them out there for this special taping. And then, yeah, I'm excited now.
It's
Knowing
gonna be
that
really fun.
I was looking at that calendar, I'm like, I don't know how we're going to have time to.
Dude, we're gonna
Yeah.
get all these fucking episodes out.
Yeah. And they're good.
They're
dude.
good.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah.
The next interview, I'm very excited about.
But I got to come through with my shit.
we gotta get it done.
Yeah,
We'll get
yeah.
it done.
Okay.
I watched the first 15 minutes with a couple of friends this weekend, and it was getting pops.
All right. We got to. I know I just did it also, but.
I'm just saying, I feel good about where we're at right now. We
I'm
just
excited,
have to finish.
dude. I'm excited. I'm feeling really good about next year. Now that I know the
Good.
recession.
Weight off your shoulder, dude.
Now that I know the recession's not happening, and then seeing McCusker's success. Not that I can bet on, but the metrics are
Oh,
there.
see, it's a friend of yours. Yeah.
Well, he's a friend of mine, but also.
But he's like similar platform.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap it up.
You look at anybody else that self-produces a special. It's like they already had, like they have already like 1 million followers on fucking social media.
Yeah. It'll be good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. Guys, thanks for watching. We're
Thanks,
gonna get
guys.
to work. Bye. Was that a wrap? Thanks.
Ginsburg, can you do me a favor?